Thanks, Chris. Let's stick with that story that's dominating headlines: coalition airstrikes on Libya and a seeming split within NATO over the mission. There's confusion today about whether the goal is the removal or even assassination of the Libyan President Muammar Gaddafi. It's no secret Britain, the US and its allies want Gaddafi gone, but that's not part of the United Nations mandate, which is simply to protect civilians. For some clarity, I spoke earlier to Zalmay Khalilzad. He's the former US ambassador to Iraq, Afghanistan and the UN. I began by asking him whether Colonel Gaddafi himself is a legitimate target.
I believe that if he is in a command bunker from which air defenses are controlled and that air defense bunker is attacked, then he could become a target by the fact of where he is. But as such, his assassination, I do not believe, can be or should be an end in itself.
What effect do you think Colonel Gaddafi's death or departure from the country would have at this point?
Well, it will have a positive effect, in my view. It will facilitate a lasting solution to the crisis in Libya and open the door for a new beginning for Libya with a new political arrangement that reflects the will of the Libyan people. So it would be quite positive if that was to happen.
Do you believe that the Western allies have a well-thought-out end game?
It's not clear yet. The resolution of the Security Council talks about the protection of the population, civilians, that Gaddafi was targeting and threatening to target mercilessly. He spoke in very brutal language a couple of days ago about what would happen in Benghazi. But while that is an important objective, I think there is a need for an end game politically for Libya, and that has not been articulated clearly yet by at least the United States President, and I'm not sure by other Western leaders as well.
Does that then support the view that some analysts have that this could become complicated and a long, drawn-out regional conflict?
That is certainly an option, one possibility, that you could have either a divided Libya for some time until there is a resolution of an ultimate resolution, or a protracted conflict. Those are obviously possibilities, but certainly those would not be as desirable as an end to the crisis through an agreement with the departure of Colonel Gaddafi, but an agreement on a political process that includes everyone, not only people from the east of Libya, but from the rest of Libya as well. And that requires, I think, contacts with elements that support Colonel Gaddafi by the opposition and by Western powers, and diplomacy needs to be also engaged, perhaps in the coming days as the military people are active. There is a need to search for a political outcome, and perhaps the UN can also play a role in that regard.
What do you think are the chances of that happening, given the hostilities that are going on and some of Colonel Gaddafi's public pronouncements?
I think it is very much contingent on the conditions. If he begins to lose support among the people who are supporting him now in the military, in the tribes, then I think his attitude could change. So therefore, I believe as one enforces the no-fly zone, one needs to become engaged also in parallel on the political track and reaching out to the elements, if not all, but to some elements of the regime, and seek to facilitate negotiations, discussions about an ultimate outcome for Libya.
What do you think of the wisdom of direct Western intervention in Libya when uprisings in other countries in the region haven't been supported the same way?
Well, of course, in the case of Libya, it has been this massive use of force, including air power, tanks, artillery against civilians, that has brought about this change. And I think the West has a stake in promoting democratization of the region, although the methods used to promote that would depend on the circumstances, and but also recognizing that what happens in one place in the Middle East affects developments in another, and therefore I believe that we should be encouraging reform and agreement with the opposition in other parts. But the Libyan case, I think this use of force came because of Gaddafi's tactics.
Dr. Khalilzad, many thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much.